Not to sing hello. I was just going to say it's going to be hard for me not to sing because I was listening to some jams before we went live here. Welcome to Tuesday, May 12th. It's hard for me to remember what day it is. And you are listening to Real Talk, Brave Moms Academy Live. We're excited that you're here today. We're going to talk about toddler defiance. We had a question come in from one of our community members about toddler defiance. So before Katie gets going, I'm going to read the question to Katie. And before she answers, I just want to tell you, if anything you hear today resonates, or if you can think of someone who might appreciate it as well, please send this to people. We want as many hands. We want it in as many hands as possible. So please like and send it out to whoever you know that could find this useful. All right, to the question. Got to pull it up. That'd be a good idea.
You got this.
This mom says, my question is how to handle a toddler that always says no, or I don't want to do that, or don't say that to me. She is very independent and has hit the 3 independent stage and thinks she doesn't need to listen to anything I have to say or tell her to do. She is quick to answer with no or an equivalent, to the point that she even tries to dictate what I do and say, which surprises me every time. I try to reassert whatever command I give, and currently my resolve is sending her to her room when she isn't listening. If I insist on something that is bite-sized hard enough, then she does respond. For example, if I want her to go do something, I just say, stand up, and that gets a better response. And then I can give her additional instructions. I just feel disrespected a lot, and I want to fix that root of the problem. Although part of me is wondering, with her age, sounds like she's 3, do I need to just reset my expectations? And maybe it isn't intentional disrespect as much as her trying to learn or test things. But if that is the case, then what is she trying to learn or test that I need to be firm on so she understands how the world works?
Oh my gosh, so articulate. I read this a week ago and I forgot how articulate this all was. It's so good. Okay, so she's dead on about bite-sized instructions because I'm an adult and I need bite-sized instructions most days. Like if I have a project that is more than one step, I feel overwhelmed and I need to tell myself what the first step is. So I love that. The bite-sized instructions is amazing. 2 things. I think that she is going to be living in dream world. She's going to enthusiastically join the team and participate when being against the team sucks for her. First of all, that's what she's doing is good. Like, hey, you want to be part of the team, you can be out here with us. If you don't want to be part of the team, you can be in your room. And here's how this team works. Mommy decides. So this is kind of like, I wouldn't say this to a tiny child, but this is the mindset is like, hey, the way this team is, I'm the leader. So you can be part of the team or you can go be alone. No problem. So there's that, which is going great. And then the other side of it is to fuel her sense of power. So I would hand that kid a dish rag and say that we need the table cleaned off. That this is what the team is doing right now is cleaning the kitchen. Do you want to have an important job or do you want to have a tiny job? And she can pick. So we talk a lot about choices. Love and Logic teaches choices. Love and Logic is an incredible resource, by the way, for those of you looking for a quick grab. But the way that we talk about choices in Brave Moms Academy is to instill a sense of significance. So these aren't just choices to like distract the toddler from the power struggle. So that's what that is. Like, hey, it's time to go brush your teeth. Let's use this example. Time to go brush your teeth. And they're like, no, because they're experiencing their autonomy and they're discovering their independence and they're finding out that they're separate from us. It is a brain checkpoint that we need. Every human needs that. And you could say, hey, do you want to crawl there like a tiger or do you want to hop there like a bunny? And that is a phenomenal way to distract them from the power struggle. But I actually would like to do one more than that and give them power to matter, because it doesn't matter walking to the teeth like a tiger or a bunny. Okay. Are we tracking, Alyssa? Are we good? Is this okay? I don't want to get in the weeds too far. I want to give my kids options that make them feel powerful, because that's what that's about. She's looking for power. I want you to brush your teeth and you don't want to. And one of us is about to decide what happens. And kids get distracted by the pursuit of power when, ready? When they don't feel their own power. So I would be handing this kid ways to be powerful. So when it's time to brush teeth, do you want to help Sissy brush her teeth too? Do you want to show me which toothbrush you're going to use? So I would be looking for ways to make this kid powerful. I would like to pause there. Do you have like moments? Let's take like a break from the information to like a story or a picture we can paint for people, because I think this could get really like, this is the science of it. I don't want to get lost in the science. I want people to see it come to life. I'm trying to think about my kids when they feel powerful. I try to set things up like in the summertime, we go to the lake. I try to go to the lakes. Like we have, actually, it's called Cascade Lakes Highway nearby. It's a loop of like 20 high mountain lakes, and it's 40 minutes away. So we can pick from any lake. Like I feel so spoiled living here. So in the summertime, I try to get my work done in the morning and be done by early afternoon. And then we like pack a wagon and a paddleboard and fishing poles, and we pack up like a snacky dinner and we'll go out to the lake. But my rules are, I don't want to go to the lake if the house is a mess. I can't like work all day, leave the house a mess, do a lake outing, and then come back and have a successful day tomorrow. That's not going to work. So I will tell my kids in the morning, hey, we're going to go on a really rad outing tonight. It can be boring and simple. Like we go to the playground a block away. We don't need to bring anything. We'll eat here and just go to the playground. Or we could go to Elk Lake tonight. We could fish. We could eat dinner out there, and we can bring blankets and sit, like watch the sunset at the lake. It's further away. It takes more gear. And they're like, go to the lake. I'm like, great. That means we have to have the house picked up before we go. And it means the car needs to be loaded by 2:00, and I can start helping at 1:30. And they're like, okay. And then we've been down this road long enough. Like at the beginning, it was like, let's make a list of everything we need together. You tell me what I'm writing on this list. So it's like power, power, power. I'm like fueling them all the time with invitations to work hard and be part of a team so that they can have a great outcome. And it's kind of like walking the line all the time with every kid of every age between like what's too much power that they're going to feel overwhelmed, or too much responsibility they're not going to be able to follow through, versus like what's not enough power that we're all just having a bummer of a time because this kid is digging their heels in and being no fun. It's because they actually need more responsibility. So it's kind of different at every stage. At one phase, my kids and I, like I said, we were writing on the paper to go to the lake. Like, what do we need to gather? What do you guys need to get done before we go? You brainstorm with me. And then I hand them the paper and I go to work. But at this point, I don't write the paper. My oldest writes the paper. And then he actually makes cool games out of like them choosing which task is next. And they have a blast, like accomplishing this long list of things as a team while I'm at work, because they love the feeling of that responsibility. They love being powerful. So I would be looking for ways to make this 3-year-old feel so powerful in ways that connect to what we're doing, that contribute positively. What do you think, Alyssa?
Those are good examples. My brain keeps wanting to go deeper, thinking I didn't even know what a couple of years ago didn't even know what to do with that kind of information that you're telling me, like the choices.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes sense to me, but then to implement it, first I had to figure out, well, what do I actually want? Because I had spent all of my motherhood, the first 11 years of it, just thinking that I needed to cater to them. Because remember, a few episodes ago, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So that layer of it, I had to deal with first. And so it's easy for me now to implement those things because I know what I'm okay with. I know what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do. But definitely that first layer has to be dealt with, not dealt with, but just you have to dive in there and see what are you okay with? Because now I anticipate it. We got home from a trip this last weekend, and on our drive home, we had 2 hours to drive home. We've been on lots of trips out of town, and I know when we get home, everyone wants to rush out of the car and into the house and go do their own thing. And now I'm anticipating, okay, I know what needs to get done. I know what usually happens. So we're driving in the car, and they're like, can we stop for ice cream? I'm like, nope, not right now. But then I'm like, oh, I just heard something that they wanted. I actually want to get them that. But I know that we need to unpack our bags and start our laundry. So now I have new creativity I didn't have before. Hey, when we get home, you're going to have 30 minutes before I have to go pick up the dogs from the boarding kennel. In 30 minutes, if your bag's unpacked and your laundry is in the laundry room, I'm going to leave. You can come with me, and I'll actually stop and grab you that ice cream. And so it's got something to get them motivated to do the thing that I know we need to get done. But I wouldn't have known that before. I wouldn't have known how to implement it if I wouldn't have known what am I okay with, what am I not okay with. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. So you're saying like, hey, let's actually backpedal to this moment where this child is saying no. And this mom is like, what in the world do I do with this? Like, and I think I'm hearing the concern in her writing that is really about like long game. I love her thoughts of like,
yeah,
am I just supposed to require respect because respect is the law of the world? Or is there something more to this that I'm equipping her for? So I would say in that moment, I have a little tiger saying no to me. I would be honest in my reaction, which would probably be for me would be like, wow, like I would have a spicy response to a spicy kid. I will say that. Like, I think just like feeling what you feel in the moment and responding normally, knowing this is super important, knowing that like this has to be not high stakes. So I think maybe that's a lot what you're talking about is like, she probably wants to react to the disrespect. Like, dude, cut it out, get it together. Because our whole life is having an issue because of your little word right here, your little no. But the truth is, and maybe it's anger, maybe it's overwhelm, like we're feeling her as parents, or like, why don't I get it? Or like big feelings inside of mom when this is happening. So to your point, the first thing is like doing that work of disconnecting the big meaning of this disrespect and letting it go. Like, it's just a word she's saying. Everything is fine. And really looking at that with the Lord and taking those, like, am I a failure? Or like, do I just not get it? Or those huge questions to the Lord and letting him remind you that you are exactly the right mom for your kid in all your strengths and weaknesses. So really, and then having a plan for what do I want to do? When a child says no to me repeatedly, I just, hey, like, this is no fun. That's a love and logic tool that I learned years and years ago. We use a form of it in Brave Moms Academy. This is just not fun. And I would love to hang out with you and get some things done and enjoy the reward of that. This is the vibe. It's too many words for a 3-year-old, but when you're fun. And then I would make a big show out of what fun means. So everyone who's out here having a great attitude, we're going to clean the kitchen with some music on. And even if that's a baby, like 3-year-olds don't realize you and the baby are not actually having a blast. I know that you have a baby, to the person who asked this question. Turn on the music and dance through cleaning the kitchen. And when the kitchen is clean, get out a fun snack. It can be within your dietary limits. If it is ice cream or it's pudding or it's, I don't know, my kids love like, my kids love a certain kind of kale salad with lemon on it. If I got that out, even if they might not be craving it right now, but it is exclusively for the people who clean the kitchen, they want to be part of it. Anything that's exclusive, people want to be a part of, and that's in our design. So clean the kitchen, throw a fun party out of doing work, and then get a reward out for doing the work and be like, yo, this is for all the people who cleaned the kitchen. So just start pointing to like do some stunts basically about having a lot of fun, being responsible and being obedient and being part of the team, and then get rewarded for it right in front of her and let her experience the bummer of not being part of that. Like, actually, this is just for this team who did this kitchen today, but we'll do something again later. And then later you're like, yo, there's a lot of laundry here, and let her be so important. What do you think we should do about it? Leave it on the floor. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. What would happen if we left it on the floor? So you're asking her tons of questions, getting in her world. It will be right here. It's fine. We will dance on it. Oh, if we dance on it, it's going to get holes in it. How would that be? Oh, not good. Okay. So what should we do? Put it in the basket. It's actually clean laundry. What should we do with clean laundry? So you're like letting her come up with all the brilliant answers and then giving her the power to be part of it. Hey, everyone who helps me with the laundry is going outside to play squishy water bomb balls after this. So I'll catch you on the flip side. And then you start doing the laundry. So it's like hit the gas, go forward, let it go, move on, let her opt in or not, and just make that clear. Yeah, I think that's the mode.
You give such good examples. Such good tips. Very
Good.
practical.
Yay. Yeah. I mean, I think the heart of this is it's funny because yesterday we talked about like breeding rebellion in our kids by just anticipating and expecting their obedience and then really being hard-handed and heavy and punishing when they don't go along with things and how damaging that is. That will actually break trust. And I think it would be easy to think, well, then it's just going to be anarchy. People are free, so let them be free. And like the humans are actually not smart in our flesh. Letting our feelings run our lives is a terrible idea. And I'm in agreement with whoever's listening yesterday. Like, but what about the rules? The thing is, we want the rules, which I would say more like standards, to point to somebody taking responsibility and having an awesome experience, because that is so rewarding. And that is what life is like. I don't actually get punished for speeding every time, but I have the peace of knowing that my kids are safe in the car when I drive the speed limit. And I want my kids to experience over and over. And I'm always having a dialogue with them about what did you choose and what was the outcome? And did you like that outcome? And do you want to make a different choice? This is very much not disengaged. And my standards, I would consider myself a very hard mom. My standards are pretty hard. Like, hey, that attitude sucks. So guess what? You just got fired from your job. Why? Because that's what real life is like. Not because I'm in charge and you're going to freaking listen to me. That breaks trust. But to say, hey, guess what? When you show up with an attitude like that to your job when you're 16 and you're trying to earn money for a car, they're going to send you home. So today at my house, in order to practice for that, you just got fired from the dishes. And that's no problem because I know you have $7 that you can pay me to do them for, and I'm happy to do them. Go ahead. You go.
I just wanted to point out that how excited we get around here when our kids fail. Like, we want them to run into this over and over and over and over again. And I think right away coming in here, I had such high expectations for myself and for them. And I knew I needed help, but even with the help that I was getting, these communication skills and these tools, I still wanted like, okay, let's do it once and then let's just never fail again. But the longer I'm here, the longer we do this, I realize how important it is to give them as many opportunities as possible to fail. And it's so good. And I find myself being so thankful, like, oh, I'm so glad that this is happening right now under my roof and I get to walk you through it. I want you to experience this. I want you to know what happens when you choose not to do the thing and you miss out on something great or something bad happens. I want that to happen now as many times as possible. So for anyone who's like me that thinks you're going to get some skills and some tools to avoid anything bad happening or to avoid your kids failing or missing out, that's so not what we do here.
Oh, that was so good. So good. Okay, I'm going to wrap with the why we started our show late today actually. That's occurring to me now, like, oh, we should talk about this. Cuz to your point, I had a little one having a meltdown on the way into first grade today. And in the moment, I've been at this for more than 3 years, 3.5 years in emotionally healthy, connected parenting that breeds responsibility for 3 years, more than 3 years. And it started with my own inner healing. So it was like it was a dramatic shift for me. And then I just started working the skills. And 3 years in, I teach these skills day in and day out. And I still have work to do, right? Because we're not, to your point, we're not solving something. We're becoming something. And what we're becoming is someone God can live in That's what we're becoming. So I was bringing my little one to school. She's been super emotional lately. She's really tired. We're all run down and fighting sick. She is sick and she's exhausted. She was in my room late last night. I knew she was tired today, but there's this theme coming up of her feeling embarrassed. And so I've been getting more words from her about that, like things she wouldn't have talked about before. I could tell she would have just like been emotional, clammed up, gotten huggies and went away. And I wouldn't have known what it was. She started to talk more about it. So she didn't know where the water fountain was. Her water bottle spilled in the car this morning. And I never knew before that she didn't know where the water fountain is. And so she finally said it today. Like, I was like, hey, it's okay. It's just water. We're going to spill it. We're going to clean it up. It's okay, baby. And she finally was like, no, now I have no water in my bottle. And I was like, that's okay. As I've told you 28 times, you can fill it up at school. Does your teacher not let you go get water at school? I'm like nailing this issue. I'm like, my goodness, why are we back at this question? Like, this is going to be okay. This has been such a thing. She was like, I don't know where the water fountain is. She tells me that through tears. I'm like, okay, so what do we need to do? She's like, find out where the water fountain is. I was like, let's ask somebody. And she said, she just burst into tears when I said, we just need to ask somebody. And now I understand the theme we're on is she feels embarrassed that I said, do you feel embarrassed that you don't know where it is? And she said, yes, because all the other kids know where it is. And so I was hearing from her heart for the first time about something that's actually kept her trapped for all school year. She's been living in this fear that someone's going to find out she's the only one who doesn't know. And now she's finally talking about it. My point is leaning into this, like not getting mad at her for having a meltdown means I'm the one she's telling the truth about how she feels. I'm not going to punish her for having big feelings. However, it's not okay to delay my entire day, not go to class, wail and moan while another class is in session right here. So I'm going to tell y'all how I handled it. I'm standing in the corridor with her at school and she's like not wanting to ask the teacher, not wanting anyone to know that she doesn't know where the water fountain is. I was going to help her ask. But I will tell you this, I wasn't going to help her ask until she asked me to help her ask. I was fully present, bidding that she would ask me to help her ask, find some words because she's not been using words. So the new line is like, hey, I'm right here with you. It's time for me to go to work unless you want to tell me something. If you want to tell me something, I want to help you. So like, I will stay to help, but I won't stay to just keep you sad, right? Y'all getting this? Does this make sense? There's a line right there. I'm happy to help you work through your thing. I'm not happy to stay here while your thing just gets bigger and bigger, right? So I was on my knees with her over and over and over again this morning, like, hey, if you want to tell me a word about how I can help, I will stay to help. If there's not a way I can help, it's time for me to go. And she was just like, no. How many of you had to have little ones who do this thing where they cry and they dive into your arms? I was like, if you dive into me one more time, I'm walking right out that door and I'm going to hand you to this. Do you know who this teacher is? It was like a different one. She will help you when I leave. And she's like, no. I'm like, okay. But she stayed not diving into me because she knows I will do it. So we had this amazing time, but it was all about towing this line. I knew, to your point, Alyssa, what I was going to help her do and what I was not going to help her do. I knew that bringing her home from school was not going to help her discover how important she is and how she can overcome. And the answer to these big feelings is not to get them comforted. It's to move through them and make a good choice that's going to bring her joy. So we were doing that today. I don't know, like, can you hear the point I'm trying to make in what we're saying? Because I feel like I had one and now it's getting fuzzy.
I think that all the points that you've said are great.
Oh, I remember. It was when you were saying the purpose is not to have a cleaned up life that's solved and like stop having the problem. Mm-hmm. The point is to become a person who can be in the center of the problem with all of your big feelings and meet God there for someone else. So that's like for all your relationships, but in this parenting moment, it was like, what is the love of God for her right now is not that I just get up and bail on her because I don't like it. I didn't threaten her, like, punish her about her feelings or threaten her if she doesn't stop. Here's what's going to happen. Or like, hey, I'll bring you home, but no pizza for you tonight. Some weird trade-off that doesn't help. My job was to continually take deep breaths and be present for her in this problem. That is what we're after, because that's who God is. God is present to us. That's what Christ was. He was God made present to us. And then he was present as a human, and then he suffered and died so that in our problems, he could be there and fully understand. This is so mind-blowing. So I love that you said the point is not to have it all wrapped up and have obedient kids. The point is to be with them and to be a person they'll talk to in the thing and help them make decisions that are going to make their life amazing and full of purpose and make their life an expression of who they truly are and not an expression of what they're afraid of. Oh my word, she could have just come home with me. That would have been easier for my heart. I walked away from school. I had to like leave her with the teacher crying, and the teacher's like, I got you, and I'm walking away. And it was so painful. And it took me my whole drive home to recalibrate around what is true. I am not here to help her feelings go away. I'm here to help her overcome. And I'm here to help her learn to make great choices, even though she feels the way she feels. And that only comes from being present. So what we're learning is being present with our kids. That was a long way to say, I want the problems to happen. As a child, I needed somebody to walk with me through how I feel, to help me think about what's true and make decisions that are going to benefit me and the people around me most. That's what we're doing in Brave Moms Academy. There is a membership available to you with 12 communication skills. When we talk about these examples or questions, I know it can feel muddy because there's like these principles being applied all at once. But there are skills that have trained my brain and trained our moms' brains to adopt the principles by just using one skill at a time. So you do the skills, you become something along the way. And those skills are 12 in a row. It's called the Confident Mom Code, and it is available to you in the Brave Moms Academy membership. And there is a link for it in the description. It is a mind-blowing, incredible group of women who come with wins every week that blow me away. We meet together every single week and we do a coaching call so you can engage with us on this material. You can cancel anytime. So if you jump in right now and you start working the skills and you're like, this is not what I thought, you are 100% free to go. Although guess what? We've never heard it. So we would love to have you. Link below. There's also a jot form in the description that you can ask a question like this student did today, and we'll break down your thing and we'll talk all about it. And you can ask anything. There's nothing too big or too small to throw into this mix. Let's talk about it. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. PST. I won't be dropping children off at school. Actually, I will now that I think about it, but I don't anticipate another meltdown, so we'll probably be on time. You are so brave.